and we think IL2 services at very low cost for large numbers of people, and consume them with common devices that everybody's got access to, but with a seamless user experience, including authentication. And that's a really compelling difference, we think, from most of our competitors, is that Microsoft services run seamlessly and with the same UI and the same experience, irrespective of these three situations you find yourself in. So those measures of risk around data suddenly allow you now have the option of being able to segregate your enterprise to consume services at a lower cost than perhaps assuming that you've got a number of people operating at higher level, and so you make your entire organization operate at that higher level with the necessarily consequential higher costs. You can start to differentiate some of these services. And the discussion that we're having at the moment with Cabinet Office and CESG, and I'm sure Stuart's going to talk a little bit more about this later on, is that for low threat environments, we think that our public cloud services offer sufficient security to warrant consumption and consideration at up to IL2. But then for IL3 or above, many organizations operate at that, then you'll need the usual sort of security constraints of a UK-based data center and confidentiality. So this is how we kind of see the cloud building out for the UK public sector. And I put some question marks on there deliberately because there are some challenging areas, and we're quite happy to have a discussion about that and see how people think about that. But we think services like public services like education, where we have already an offering called Live Edu, and that will move to Office 365. Students consuming email and collaboration services in our public cloud. And then public cloud services and Office 365, Windows, Azure, fitting a number of public type bodies who may be operating at a lower threat level and can therefore enjoy the dramatic cost reductions of running in public cloud services and the flexibility and the agility that offers. And then there's a debate about organizations that kind of sit between the two and can make judgments around their own confidentiality, security, reliability. And then other government agencies that will need, police forces, justice, HMRC, DWP, that will definitely need private cloud services or even on-premise services. And the interesting thing about all this is you can deliver all that with Microsoft technology, and it looks the same. It operates the same, it has the same functionality, it has the same integration capability. So that's a little bit more detail on saying the same thing. As you go across that diagram towards public cloud, the costs go down, and you get more and more people involved in delivering it, and this is kind of how we see the world fitting together over time. And you'll notice that on-premise is still part of this, and that's a really important message. You still expect to see things on-premise. So that's kind of the end. I think it's the last slide. Mix and match these services to meet your needs, but actually you need to understand your needs. You need to understand how to exploit cloud from the traditional data center through the virtualized data center or on-premise or pseudo cloud environments, because cloud is about scale. And if you've got stuff in a small data center, then you're going to struggle operating at scale and reducing cost. But then you can move to community clouds, multiple tenanted applications and environments, and that's a big push from the government. I was talking to Bill McCluggage this morning. Shared services is still a big part of the government agenda, certainly for central government departments. But I also know that there's a big debate across local and regional government about some of those shared services as well, and some of the other areas like police force are discussing and debating shared services. And then at the far side of the diagram, you've got the public cloud services, which you can just consume as anyone else would. So that's the end of, I think, 25 minutes or so, just over. Sorry about that. The usual obligatory advertising slides at the end. Thank you very much for your attention.